This is Oris the Old Guy from www.oldguytalks.com talking to you on a not so sunny, a little bit rainy day in Scottsdale, Arizona. Always enjoy the rain because it will be sun soon. Sunny soon, sunny soon. Yep, folks, it will be sunny soon. We got some rain, not as much as those folks have in California, where they're having some problems there. But it's always good to have rain. So, folks, let's start off here. In a rush to judgment, what a surprise, Nancy Pelosi and Representative Cummings responded to a tweet supposedly that came from General Flynn that said he was a scapegoat. And Nancy, assuming that you are really dumber than a rock, decided to explain to you the word scapegoat. Well, Nancy, Representative Cummings, you need to learn the word trolled because you got trolled on Twitter. Turns out that account was fake, and you were demanding to have congressional hearings based on a fake Twitter account. Fake Twitter account, just like fake news, folks. Nancy, you got to start doing your research better. I mean, this is totally unacceptable. You were former Speaker of the House. You got to be a little more responsible than that. So let's talk about President Trump's news conference. That was a sight. It was a beauty to behold. It was amazing. It was a tremendous performance. Not unlike any other presidential press conference. You know, folks, it's amazing that the press misses the old days where they did the ass kissing and the boot licking and had the love fest with former President Obama. Gosh, so nice to say former President Obama. You know, the reaction to the press conference was pretty much as you would expect it from the lamestream, regressive media. You know, I keep track of this stuff too. I just don't watch all the stuff that agrees with me. I get my copy of the New York Times. I get that at least once a week, maybe a couple times a week, just to make sure I keep track of all the fake news that's out there, all the slanted news. I also watch the Clinton News Network and got my share, my dose of fake news this week and outrage and fake outrage. So let's talk about CNN and deranged response to the Trump press conference. They have a uncurable form of Trump derangement syndrome, folks. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. First of all, the president engaged the press, and he answered more questions in that short time frame, a little bit over an hour, than Obama ever did. Now, Obama would have these long answers where he just basically bore you to death, but Trump would rapid fire, bam, 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 and it was a beautiful sight. It was a beautiful fight, but the talking heads at CNN, exploding. Let's start off with Jake Tapper. He was unhinged in his response. First of all, Jake, you don't have a clue about what American people are thinking. In your little thing on television, you don't have a clue because you are stuck in that Manhattan groupthink bubble where everybody thinks the same way like you do. You just turn around down the office, down the hallway, and you go, what do you think? Oh, yeah, I agree with that. You don't have a clue about what people in flyover land think about and the stuff that's important to them. You know, there's no dissension. There's no dissension at CNN. You know, you're talking about, you know, safe places for reporters. Next thing you know, CNN is going to be ordering a truckload of Play-Doh so they get through their Trump derangement syndrome. That's right. So, you know, that's pretty bad. Chuck Todd, there's another beauty. Chuck Todd. Dude, there's nothing un-American about the president criticizing the press. It's been done many times throughout history. Crack open a history book and you'll see that this is not unusual. And, you know, you, New York Times, Washington Post, you guys are all produce fake news, slanted news, And you haven't been fair. You have not you have not presented a balanced reporting, and you disguise reporting when it really is commentary. There's no intellectual diversity. And I use the word intellectual very cautiously. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but there's no intellectual diversity at CNN. And you don't have the fortitude to handle people that disagree with you. You get all huffy puffy and become unhinged. That's all it's like. Oh, and then you start calling people names, phobic, blah, 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 phobic, blah, 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 homogenous, blah, 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 whatever. Da, da, da. You just continue with that. Then, next one, Jim Acosta, also at CNN. Yes, you were opining and whining at the same time on Wednesday that the president was not going to call on any regressive loon reporters such as yourself. That he was only calling on conservative reporters. Well, dude, it took less than 24 hours to prove you wrong. Yep, he did that Wednesday. You got your time in, as along with several other of your colleagues from the regressive loon side of the media. And, he was there. He answered your questions. He didn't back down from you. And I think you guys got a little bit of a spanking. I can tell by how you're reacting to it. You just don't like that. You don't like that spanking you got from President Trump. And where is the outrage? You were worried about the president saying that the press is the enemy of the American people. And to a certain extent, I agree with that, because you guys are not being fair. You're not reporting. You're commentating. And, where were you? Where was the outrage when one of the press members called for the assassination of President Trump? Did you say anything about that? I don't recall you did. If you did, it certainly was not particularly loud. Yeah. So, you got a lot to be responsible for. And Americans are just no longer buying your load of crap. They just aren't. We just aren't. Yeah. Oh, I hate that when my cigar goes out. The thing is, people aren't buying it. You have this serious case of Trump derangement syndrome. It's serious. It's serious. And let me give you a piece of advice. I think you guys should all go on a seminar to Utah and hire a deprogrammer and maybe help you get over this. I think you need a deprogrammer to kind of help you through the rough spots here. Americans aren't buying your crap anymore. We're not. Your day is over, and your approval ratings going low. Soon to hit the single digits. Soon to hit the single digits. Now, want to end this post on a positive note. And I got to tell you, there are 4 very brave women, not brave like, military brave, but they're brave in a way they took action. And they took action based on what I consider to be true feminism. Not that shit of wearing a pussy hat or pictures of vaginas that we saw at the march a few weeks ago. No. These are women who are world chess champions. And start off with a woman by the name of Nazi Pikidze Barnes. And there was, and why did they pick this place? I have no idea. They decided to have the World Chess Championships in Iran. Okay, how do you get that gig? Okay, hopefully they're not going to have the Olympics anytime in Iran. So the requirement was that women had to wear hijabs. Yeah, they're going to make them wear that. Now, if you know anything about chess, it's a very intellectual, it's very warlike, and part of it is the nuances of the atmosphere. So, and these women said, no, we ain't gonna wear a costume just to make you happy. No, we're not showing up. And I commend those women because they stood up for their principles, for their rights. And they have not gotten any support from the social justice warrior feminists. No, not a word. You haven't heard anything from them. They're still busy running around in their pussy hats. So big shout out, big credits to them. There's a big story on Chicks on the Right. They have a story about this, and it just makes me proud that these women stand up for their rights, that they're not going to be made into second-class citizens in Iran. So, this is Oris Yo Guy. One last thing, the battle is on. Folks, you got to get on Twitter, you got to get on Instagram, you got to email, you got to reply to these people. You got to let them know that we are engaged, because they're not giving up easy, and I don't expect them to give up easy. We are in battle. This whole thing at the EPA, lobbying not to have the new head be confirmed, all this stuff. We are in battle. There's going to be lots of fake news, and we need to reply to it. So this is Oris Yo Guy from www.oguytalks.com signing off. Remember, create a kick-ass day and a kick-ass life.